What up, what up, what up, you guys? We're back at it. Second week in a row we're on actually schedule. This
I
feels
know.
good.
It's
It feels
happening.
good.
I know.
Man,
God, there's a lot to talk about though.
dude,
I
this
feel like
weekend.
now that it's been a week period of time where we're actually set, like it feels like there's so much more than normal just because we're not cramming things in like 3 day period right now.
And
God, though.
especially, I mean, this weekend was full of surprises.
It was.
Full of surprises. So
Yeah.
before we get into that, I feel like we should just kick it off real quick because of the amount of news that kind of came out.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
wanted to start off the show with the question. We started that last week. So this week's question that we're going to just kick off and see, I'm sure we have opinions about, is all-star games across the different sports: football, basketball, soccer, not soccer so much, football, basketball, baseball. Like, are they worth it? Like, your thoughts about them? Does it make a difference if you don't see them? Like, where are you at in terms of all-star games across these sports?
That's tough because I enjoy the baseball one as well as I do enjoy the soccer all-star game. But for me, football and basketball it's a little different because you can make it interesting with just offense, but football is just so bad in my opinion at this point. Like I kind of feel at this point like you should do just some more skill things like have like in basketball you got the 3-point contest and the dunk contest and skill challenges, all those things. Make it more about that than necessarily a game because if you're it's just getting bad in my opinion. Like it's not even like football's running up the score. It's
Right,
just it's awful to watch. Like I don't know the last time I really watched a football one. Baseball, you can't really fake baseball. You can't fake throwing a baseball 99, 100 miles an hour. So I mean, you still that
true.
one, that one, you gotta actually hit still. You actually gotta play. And no matter what, offense or defense, you want to make plays as a baseball player. And I get it's different because there's not as much contact, especially compared to football, and you don't get hurt during an all-star game. Um, but I think also though what matters somewhat to me, in my opinion of things, is the fact that every major sport besides football, their all-star break is during the season.
Mm,
Like baseball is just halfway through, basketball is just 3/4 of the way through. Let's be real. Hockey's just
right.
part of the way through. Soccer's just part of the way through. So I think it kind of makes a difference because they're still in a competitive mindset. The season's not over. Because with football, that's the other thing. If you're in the All-Star game, you didn't make the Super Bowl for sure, and like you're literally
Right.
playing the week. Like, so I definitely think that they should keep them because you want to have that recognition, like when you're the best of the best that year to be part of. But I think they need to switch it up at least in the sports where they're just getting to be awful to watch. Like baseballs, I think you're fine to keep. Soccer, it's cool, especially because they're normally doing like it'll be MLS All Stars against like a professional team from Europe or something. That's a big name team. Like when I saw the All Star game, it was against Juventus. Like it was like big name teams. Like you're having legit competition and you're bringing European players over, so you're having more people to watch it. Basketball is you have. I prefer to watch everything besides the All-Star game in basketball. The new format does help a bit though, because the fourth quarter does get competitive again. But with football, I don't even turn it on that weekend. I
Yeah.
just leave it off.
So you still watch the dunk contest, is what I'm hearing.
This year I fell asleep during it, and I was happy with the nap I got because it was wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
I love the dunk contest, so I prefer it to be good. Like, bring me back Eric Gordon, just give me the good dunk contest. But when it's just like this year's was so bad. But so I would like to watch it again. But if it's bad, I'm not gonna watch it, of course.
Right. I think it was interesting how you brought up the fact that football, it's at the end of the season. So there's no competitive mindset. You're kind of on vacation mode anyways. Half the
Yeah.
players that are on it, like Justin Jefferson, poor guy's not going to play in the Super Bowl right now. You know what I mean? So he takes his month and a half off break. So he's not in that competitive mindset, which I think plays a fact that, what is it? AFC beat the NFC the last 4 years, something like that. It was like, it's a
Yeah.
ridiculous one-sided
It
game.
really is.
I think the underlying thing too is these players, man, it's not like the old days. You know what I mean? It's not the old days. They're buddy.
Yeah,
They're
no.
working out on the weekends, whatever. So when they're playing against each other, it's not the same type of competition. It's like, okay, Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, they're on the same team. They're just going to shoot balls from
Yeah.
half court and further. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we all love to see that. I think basketball will never die in that aspect. I love the celebrity all-star game. I love what they're doing with the coaches kind of being like Stephen A. Smith against Mike Wilbon. This year was Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins with Dominique Wilkins. I forget who else. I love that. I think those are fun. 3-point contest, you have so many shooters now. It's like fantastic to watch. Dunk contest. Again, this is like the players. They're not getting Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon back to like do the dunk contest. Because like what's the point? Stephen A. Smith brought up a great point and of having each team bring one guy to do one dunk, and then that money goes to like whoever wins.
Yeah.
Because like then you're bringing up the sport, people are competing, you're bringing in revenue for individual teams, and then you're going into all-star game, you're giving someone a voice. It's not like it's taking away from the competition. It's actually adding some sort of competition because they don't know each other. They want to win the money. I think that makes the NBA look good, whatever. I feel like soccer and baseball, like you said, you can't really take out the kicking / throwing and then like those games you could actually enjoy. And like maybe there might not be the same type of chemistry, but you're watching the best of the best. Like for baseball, baseball, you're watching the best of the best do their thing, right? Soccer, the best in the MLS against a team like Juventus. I don't know who they're playing with, who they're going to.
I'd have to look. I don't know if they've announced this year's or not yet. I'll have to look that up, but I'll figure that out.
But
later.
like even then, like you're bringing in anyone's going to watch Ronaldo, anyone's going to watch Messi,
Yeah.
anyone's going to watch those guys. So like it's just those two. If those are the biggest sports in America, football and basketball, the fact that no one is tuning into these all-star games anymore, I mean, it's not a good look. I think the new format in basketball is more interesting. I mean, LeBron hit the
yeah. Oh no, that helped them a lot.
Yeah, and at least they're learning, but there's still work to do.
Yeah,
and they can't expect it to be what it was. I mean, who also is going to go to Cleveland to watch? Like, who's going to go to Cleveland? Like, you got to make it a hot spot. You know what I mean? Somewhere with outdoors, like Hawaii, that would be freaking sick.
See, that's the other thing. Football is in Hawaii every year. Or, besides, there's been a few, but like they're making a destination place, but it's so bad, like such bad football to watch. Like, and I don't know what you could do to change it because like, I mean, football, you don't want to have the people just ramming each other down tackling each other left and right, trying to, like legit tackling. But at the same time, at that point, you might as well just legit make it just flag football. Like the two-hand touch just looks so bad. Like at that point, just put flags on people. That way you can still try to juke someone out or something. Like you have to change something up. Take away dodgeball too. I don't need to see professional football players playing dodgeball. I'm sorry.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Oh my God.
But then like for basketball, like there's no defense, and it's not like people pay to see defense. But I mean, when Steph Curry's laying down on the ground and Giannis is dunking over him and they're on opposite teams, like I don't want to see that. Like give him a hug and like hug him and carry him away from the hoop. But like that will be more fun to watch than you just laying down and someone's dunking off. Like give it a little effort, Steph. But at least they're not football. And I feel like we've been saying, I feel like with that being said, the NFL kind of just got sued big time money for, the lack of stuff in regards to race among quarterbacks. And then Brian Flores is still doing his thing. So, I mean, I feel like they have bigger fish to fry. But if you want to make the sport, good, the All-Star game is the way to go. I mean, the NFL season is like a religious holiday. So, yeah.
They just need to do something to change it. But will they? Probably not. It's just going to keep getting worse over the next few years, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I love that. And we're talking a lot about basketball. And holy crap, did basketball decide to explode this weekend?
There are some real bad teams out there. Some real bad teams.
Very bad teams. Just shout out the Pistons for.
Hey, it's overtime. It's overtime, by the way.
It's overtime. Okay.
Yeah. We haven't lost this yet. Yeah.
We're gonna have a live reaction of me freaking out or you freaking out, and we'll see what happens.
If I lose to the freaking Pistons,
but no. So honored.
Let's talk. Yeah, but it's not looking good. Okay, I'm just gonna go. So let's talk about some teams that have had a great history. Not necessarily history, but Steph Curry versus LeBron.
Oh my God. Holy cow.
LeBron went off. I won't let LeBron said, I'm done losing.
Yeah.
But I think it's too late. You can have some nice games, but it's just not looking good.
Okay, so I'm going to say this about LeBron. I mean, he came out, I think, between last week and this week. He said until he's like, you cut off his head, like,
Oh yeah,
he's gonna think he has a chance. And I still think that. I still think there is a chance. However, like you said, it's not looking good. But LeBron showed me something yesterday or 2 nights ago, was it?
he hadn't shown it in a long time either. That's the thing.
56 points. That's that. And given it's not with Draymond, and I feel like that's going to be the other side of things that we have to talk
Yeah.
about. I don't want to talk too much about the Lakers because we've been mentioning them so much, and they're in the playing tournament. They don't deserve. But 56 points, LeBron, you did your thing.
No, it's LeBron being LeBron.
And if you look at it, his points went, but his assists he only had 3. So he's recognizing what he has to do. Can he sustain this? Can he do this over the next 17 games plus a game?
It'd be 2 games right now because they're in the 9th seed. So
right, and then I mean New Orleans is coming up, so I feel like there's still some news there, but I mean the Warriors is definitely the bigger story, right?
The fact, the Warriors right now are on a major skid. Like they are now tied with Memphis for 2nd place. Given Memphis has lost a few as well, but I mean the Warriors lost 4 straight. I did see that Draymond is expected to return sometime soon though, so which will help them in the playoffs. I feel like it's gonna be tough for them to stay in the 2 seed.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to they need to stay 2 or 3 in my opinion. But if they don't, it's gonna be interesting. But it's just they're right now the last 10 are 2 and 8 in the last 10 games. Which is just
that's not good.
That's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. But I'm not too concerned for it, honestly. Like I'm a little bit, but overall, I think it's better for them to have this bad patch right now than in a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, towards more than the season.
Okay.
Just because
there's 17 games left now, right?
Yeah. 15 to 17, depending on makeup games and whatnot. But like they're gonna make the playoffs no matter what. They're plenty clear in that. It's just a question of where seeding wise do they make it, and if Draymond comes back and he's back to being fully healthy, that's a big deal. Like his defensiveness is a major deal, especially when it comes to playoffs.
Okay. So I guess here's my question to you. I feel like there's 3 main stories with the Warriors right now. Draymond being out.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 is Steph's bad shooting. Steph's shooting. And then Klay Thompson, man. Just Klay Thompson's development back into a starting lineup after being gone for 2 years. Yeah. Which one do you think is the bigger one? Like, which one do you think is the bigger story? Which one's the most concerning out of those 3? Do you feel?
I think the most concerning would probably just be, I think you kind of have to pick Steph right now because Draymond, you don't know what's going to happen until he comes back. So you can't really have more of a story than he's expected to return. And Klay, as much as Klay's, still not being old Klay, he's shown enough sparks of it, I think, that he's going to get there just fine.
Okay.
But the fact that Steph is cooling off so much right now, I think that's the biggest, he has to hit his shots to win. It's the same, it's kind of the same thing. Like LeBron has to hit his shots for the Lakers to win. Steph has, and every team has that player. But it's showing more than I thought it would right now. It's like I thought, maybe if he cooled off, they would still be winning, just not by as much, and not looking as easy dubs as it is. But it's just been bad, which just it threw me off. I didn't expect him to become this cold, but every shooter goes through cold streaks. So,
all right. My thing with the Warriors right now, honestly, I think the most concerning thing is Klay, and I think. I'm not too worried about Steph because I think him being the point guard, like the natural point guard of the team, but he was never the point guard. That was Draymond. So once he gets back, they get that defense in order. I mean, Draymond's not afraid to get in someone's face. I feel like those 2 kind of figure it out. My concern is Klay because this team wasn't like, are they going to make it to the playoffs? Is that enough? Their thing was if Klay Thompson comes back healthy, they're winning the chips. Even they were saying that all the time. There's a lot of people that felt that way, that Clay and Steph being back, they're going to win the chip again. They're going to prove that they didn't really need Durant. Why did Clay leave early into the tunnel at halftime against the Lakers?
Yeah.
He was benched into the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. There's something there that is concerning
True.
me with him. I think it's a lot of either self-doubt, like he's concerned about his knees. He's afraid that he's gonna make a wrong move and get hurt. But also his shooting. He's shooting 33% from the field and then
Yeah.
31 from three. That's not Clay. So he's been back for
it's
a good
not.
amount of time, and there's not much like he got hot first, but the honeymoon phase is over. Like, oh, I'm back, baby. But then now that it's kind of down the stretch and it's not so much about you, it's about winning the chip. I don't think the pressure is getting to him at all because like this guy's built for it. But
Yeah.
there's something there that I'm like, even if Draymond comes back, I don't think it solves Clay coming. Which if
That's
Steph
fair.
and Clay were healthy and they've never been hurt, I mean, these guys, if Steph is off, Clay's on. If Clay's off, Steph's on. That's usually how it was
Yeah.
going from like what 2014 till about 20,
Basically.
before
Do you-
Durant got there.
Do you know why Curry isn't playing tonight for the Warriors? Or am I just not seeing him on the list?
You know what? Actually, I'm not sure.
Because I don't see Curry or Clay in the, not just in starting lineup, but even in the bench players.
You know what, man? I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either until you started talking about it. But I mean, they are also playing my team Denver right now, who's still looking very good.
Well, and they're gonna look pretty good after this game, but I mean, they're only up 8. They're only up 8.
But still, I mean, that just threw me off. I didn't expect them both to be not playing, but
Yeah, maybe we're gonna Hey, I know we fired Jimmy. We're still looking for our next intern.
yeah.
Once we get that person, then we could get that live in game and podcast stats coming in.
It's okay. I'm sure Jimmy will find a nice new job.
A nice new job as a stripper or something, whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't that great at his job to begin with. So
It's true. It's okay.
poor guy.
But no, that's quite fair for with Clay, and you put a good perspective that I wasn't truly thinking about. But yeah, it's he might be injured, especially if he's not in the lineup at all tonight. Maybe he's injured. Maybe they are just testing out players who aren't their big names just because they know their big names aren't shooting great, so they're trying to get other people hot.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say though, when it comes to big name players and other people getting hot, what Harden has done for Tyrese Maxey over in Philadelphia, I think that's a bigger story than him and Embiid, honestly, because Embiid's still Embiid.
Yeah.
But Tyrese Maxey, this man is going off right now, and the 76ers, I believe, are in second place now in the East. They are moving on up.
I mean, dude. Yeah, they're second.
Also,
they're 3 games behind Miami at 40 wins already. I mean,
yeah,
that's scary.
Also, congratulations, your team beat mine. I'm gonna go cry now.
Well, we're gonna just take a 5 because I told you so. I told you so.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I don't.
Yeah, we're just gonna gloss over that because that's after the podcast.
That's all. Hawks are playing tournament. Also, it's fine. We don't need to talk about that more. We're back.
I mean, maybe my Wizards could come back too. That's not.
Maybe. But yeah, no. 76ers, given the top, honestly, what's concerning is honestly the Bulls. Like Milwaukee 76ers and the Heat all winning. It's great. The Bulls lost 5 straight. I just noticed.
Yeah.
They are going close from being. They are right now a half a game ahead of Boston, and only a game and a half out of ahead of Cleveland now. They were first seed for the longest time. That is very concerning actually for me, because the East is so tight. Like that's a big deal. Oh.
I think you said a lot there, so I'm going to break it up real quick.
That's fine. Yeah, no, go for it.
76ers right now. James Harden proved whatever. He was fat in Houston. He was a little bit chubbier in Brooklyn. He looks fine. He looks absolutely fine. I need to get on his diet because you can't only see from here up.
Well, only his diet when he wants a new team. Otherwise, it's a bad diet.
Only that. Then it's like he's a Zion. Whatever. He proved that he could be with Joel. what that did for Maxi. I mean, I think the hottest take that I heard was Kendrick Perkins. He came out and said that there's actually a big four in
Yeah.
Philly because Tobias Harris is still just trying to figure himself out. He's getting paid like a big three, like
He
he's a part
is.
of a big three. But Tyrese Maxey's playing like the big three.
He's
that
he's
team-
playing massive.
That team is scary. Do I see them still having some issues? Yeah, I want to see what happens with Harden when things get a little tough. But
Yeah.
I mean, if he proved me right, I didn't think, I thought this was a big move. I didn't think it was going to be this. I know
Oh,
there
yeah.
was that will click.
There's
this fast
potential
and
for it.
whatever.
Yeah.
But Maxey is doing his thing. I think that it's still like DeAndre Jordan came out with a statement saying he loves playing with Harden. He's so glad to be back with them. There's just so much good coming out of Philly. Then looking bigger picture, like you said, the Bulls being dropped out because there was Miami, then the Bulls for the longest time, and now they're 5-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I think they're putting too much on DeRozan right now. I think DeRozan needs to kind of take a step back.
I think so too.
That 1 to 4 range is good for them. They need to be there. I know Lonzo is still we're waiting for him to get back. Alex Caruso, we're waiting for him to get back. Those are two big pieces. But I think he was doing too much. He was averaging 34, 35 points for like 12 games.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is he was on one of the hottest tears that we've ever seen. I think that once he started to cool off a little bit, they were still relying on him putting up 35 a night.
Yeah.
That they weren't able to sustain it when he wasn't putting even 30 up a night. So it's just, I think with him, it's the kind of same thing with Steph. Once he cooled off from the crazy tear they were kind of going on, the teams both just are going on a little skid. And I think it's more concerning for the Bulls than the Warriors just because of how tight the East is overall.
Right. And I'm pulling up
'cause-
their schedule right now as you're talking.
Yeah, go for it. Because like right now, look, just looking at the stat wise, or standing wise, the first 6 are all separated within 5.5 of each other, and then Toronto's on the outside looking at 8.5, so they're not super close because they've lost 3 straight themselves, but still, like, if you lose 6, 7 in a row as the Bulls, like if you lose a couple more, you could be seeing yourself from going as the 1 seed to being on the board of the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Like, and given you have to stay cold, like there's still enough time for you to win back. But everyone that's in 1 through 6 right now, besides them, are looking fairly good.
But I will
The
say
worst
this.
team would be Cleveland. But go ahead.
No, I agree. Cleveland is also like the Bulls. They're dropping. I don't know why.
That's what
I've
I'm
been
saying.
following
Yeah,
them
they're
too
dropping.
much.
That's what's
That's concerning. I mean, I'm more concerned about the Cleveland Cavaliers than the Bulls right now. Because
That's
I'm
fair.
looking
I mean, yeah.
back. What is this? This is 6 games. No, 5 games. Forgive me. Memphis, they lost 116 to 110. Miami, they lost 112-99. They lost to the Hawks. You're welcome. I shouted it out now. 130, 124. Lost to Milwaukee 118-112. Lost to Philly 121-106. Relatively close games. There's, I think, the biggest lead that they had lost by was 112-99, maybe. I don't know. Math is hard right now. But
Yeah.
then you're looking at when he went on that hot streak, DeRozan, Charlotte, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Sacramento. Those were the last 12 games, right? That makes sense if you don't have your 2 guys that are playing defense. He's still dropping. What is this? Levine was the highest score for the last 3 of the 4 games, 22, 30, 24. So he's coming in. He's coming in nicely. DeRozan, he was the next highest against Atlanta, 22. So yeah, I think he's playing too much, and they need to take a step back. But also, they're not losing to like Detroit. They're not losing to Sacramento.
That's more concerning for me though. That
Okay.
their 5 straight losses have been to playoff teams that they have to beat to win though. That's the problem. Like Atlanta losing to Detroit right now, it sucks. But Atlanta's so up and down, and it doesn't like flip a coin
Yeah.
if we're going to win. But the fact that if they had say lost 2 or 3 of the 5 to the top teams, it's one. But the fact that they've lost 5 straight to teams that there's a high chance of you playing in the playoffs, that's concerning for me. And they almost lost 6 straight. The Hawks should have won the night before when they beat them. So like they could be even worse right now. So my concern is if you can't beat the top teams without your dude being 100% dropping bombs, you're not making it through seven games. You're just not.
But I mean, even then for me, like I completely get where you're coming from. I think I'm looking at it from the other side where I don't have my guys. I just the for the last month dropped 45, 38, 36, 35, 38, 40, 38,
Yeah.
37, 31, even in the Memphis loss. I still don't have all my guys. You know, coming out of All-Star break, I was still doing my thing. I think All-Star break kind of threw off his rhythm a little bit. And they're not getting blown out. I feel like if they were getting blown out by these teams,
That's
that was
fair.
my
Okay.
problem. Because I mean, they lost to Atlanta by 6. They lost to Memphis by 6, but they're not going to face Memphis. I'm not worried
They
about that.
blew that lead to
My-
Atlanta though. They were up all game Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure I want to say the Memphis game they were down massive and they came back in the end, but I want to say they were down by like 25, 30 almost at one point. But I do see what you're saying. Like
They're not
it's not
blowouts.
blowout, so it's not the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
that's good. I because I feel like what is it? I know I don't have the Bulls. You have the Bulls in your Final Four.
I do.
I think
which-
that kind of adds to like some sort of comfort for you. You know, right now mine's the Nets, and Jesus Christ.
why did you pick them again? Just curious. Like I know why you did, but could you refresh my memory of were you watching them like in a different basketball season maybe or what? Because I don't know what you saw them in this year. I don't know
not
if you thought that
concerned.
maybe they traded for LeBron or something.
I
Like
am not. I'm honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling
they've lost
pretty
4
good.
straight again, by the way.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Where are they in the standings right now? Let me see this.
They're currently half a game above the Hawks for the last spot in the play-in tournament.
Half a game above the Hawks. Okay. Mine's loading up real quick.
You don't want to be associated with the Hawks if you're the Nets when it comes to play-in tournament. Let's be clear.
But okay, this is my thing. One, Ben Simmons, I'm gonna address at the end. I'm gonna address this kid at the freaking end. Okay. Kevin
He's
Durant
gonna
just
play.
got back. I'm not too worried. He's learning. He's
That's fair.
getting back in. He's getting his legs back underneath him. I feel like he's due for a LeBron type performance that LeBron had against the Warriors.
Yeah.
To like soon. He's gonna drop 40 at some point. I feel like within the
Oh,
next
100%. Yeah, no doubt.
Now, Kyrie being out half the games, let's just say what it is. It's complete BS that opposing players could come into the Barclays Center, play a game against the Nets, but Kyrie can't play. I get the statement. I get whatever.
Yeah, I get it. I'm mixed with that because one, it sucks, but at the same time, I do see the point of it as well. But
Like he's a
before we move
worker
past,
of the
yeah,
arena. You know,
Yeah.
like it makes sense.
before we move past Kyrie real fast, I also saw somewhere the other day, if they play in Toronto in the playoffs, he
Yeah.
can't play in Toronto or New York. Which at that point, why is he on your roster? Like he's just more he if you end up playing Toronto, you're playing a 7-game series without Kyrie. There's no way around it. And that's just it's unfortunate for them. But also they have to make it through the play-in tournament.
And I think this is where my only I wouldn't even say concern is. It's just making me feel uneasy. Because when Katie went down and it was just Kyrie and Harden, I was thinking, you know what? This might be good. I don't want them to be the home team. I want them to have the advantage of playing on the road 4 games. I trust that big 3 at the time.
Yeah.
That was the reasoning to go into places like Milwaukee that he could play in, whatever, and still win. I don't think with that, when you have that much firepower, you need home court. So I was okay with them dropping. I wasn't even expecting them to drop this much because I wasn't expecting much from Boston, which that is also something we have to talk about.
whew.
But I mean,
Jason
I was
Tatum.
like a 5 to 6 seed is where I was expecting them. Now,
That's
them
fair,
being
yeah.
9 is concerning, and I think the biggest reason is frickin' Ben Simmons. I'm not done with Kyrie though. I still trust it. They're 2 games behind Toronto at 7, right?
Yeah.
They might. I mean, the way Cleveland's playing, the way the Bulls are playing, this final
what I'm saying,
stretch, if they could
the
figure
East is
something
so
out and
packed,
put some
yeah.
6 to 7 wins together, where does that put them? That puts them around 4 and 5, somewhere in there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the East is so tight. It's I mean, you really have no clue where people are gonna end up, which is very
So
true.
I'm comfortable with that. I feel pretty good about it. Even if they get home court advantage, I don't think I see most teams. if they get their stuff together, and we haven't seen
Yeah.
what they look like fully healthy, and chemistry
That's
is
fair.
definitely a concern. But if I'm gonna have to live and die by my pick, I trust KD,
Oh, yeah.
man. Once he gets his feet underneath him, I mean, if it wasn't for his shoe size to be a half of size too big, they win. They could be possibly the champions, right? With that being said, Ben Simmons, Ben freaking Simmons, you get traded. You're where you want to be. Mental health is a serious thing. Completely get it. Biggest advocate. You're looking at him right here. Me and Brandon, we completely freaking get it.
Yeah.
Brandon, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Say you don't like being at your house. You don't like
Yeah.
living there. You don't like being there. Whatever. You move to my house. Are you going to be upset? Are you going to kind of get back into your life?
I feel like I'd get back to my life, honestly, unless, I just didn't want to be there either. But
And then let's say, for example, we're going to go visit Atlanta in 2 weeks. Once you move to my house, are you going to wait to start your life after you visit Atlanta, or are you going to start your life
yeah.
right away?
I feel like right away is the better option. But at the same time, maybe I just want to, sit around Atlanta and just watch, even though I hadn't been there all year.
Not even just around Atlanta. You might want to go to Toronto and watch. Like, this guy is traveling with the team, and you can't get him to play. Back soreness from what? I'm literally
I'm sitting
in
all
Arabic.
season.
I'm a grandfather, right? And Arabic is a
True.
jiddo. Okay, I'm sitting all day too. My back don't hurt. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you haven't played in a year, like almost a year, right? I feel like I forget with the bubble because it kind of changed the schedule up a little bit. It's at least 6 to 8 months, somewhere in there. You haven't played. Back soreness from freaking what? I just don't get it. Is it because you're going March 10th to Philly? You don't want to play with them? Like,
well, why would
he
you
needs to
not
come
wanna
out and make
play?
a statement.
Why would you not? I
would
feel
want to go.
Yeah, Philly is the game you make your comeback to. That's my thing. Like, you're gonna get booed even just sitting there. Why not get booed as you dunk on somebody? Like, embrace the suck,
And
bro.
you're gonna have KD. He got back. You're gonna have Kyrie. The two guys that you may get out of Philly with, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond, they're playing. You need to make a statement, Ben Simmons. People already think it's a fake thing that he had mental health issues. And that's not for me to say. I'm going to trust the word when someone says they're having mental health issues. We got to trust it. There's no need to doubt it. But I'm going to tell you, the way you're looking right now, man, you're giving these people a voice to stand on. So make a statement.
You just have to play. At this point, he has to lace up and play.
Yes.
I don't care where at this point. He has to play to show he can still play basketball. Otherwise, this is I'm sorry, Nets, but you got fucked. Yeah, you got fucked over. But
and then it's just, to me, this team still has so much potential. And yeah, we get it. The big three with Harden, Durant, Kyrie, we only saw them play 16 games, I believe, right? So they really don't need that much time. Like, KD and Kyrie proved they don't really need much time. Ben Simmons, you're really just like the sixth man on this team. You're just going to come and play defense, give them good energy, but you're starting. That's your job. We're not expecting you to drop 50 on your return. We're expecting you to just get a couple boards, a couple steals, lock down their best player. That's it. A solid role player game. You're a role player now. You don't have this sitting on your head. That's KD, who went only there because of Kyrie, and Kyrie's not playing. So you're gonna just leave KD hanging, and he gives the final word for you to come. He chose Kyrie, and he said, "Okay, get Harden up out of here. Bring in Ben Simmons. We can make this work." He laid his head out for you, and you're just gonna leave him hanging? Like, he needs to come out and say something. He just needs to play. Even if you come out and you flop against Philly, you're at least shutting up the haters that think you faked this mental health stuff. And you're dunking on someone. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? You know what I mean? Like, flex on your ex-girlfriend. Do it.
I think the bigger concern is the fact that he's sitting out more and they're getting closer to the line of not being in the playing round even.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing if they were where 76ers were, roles reversed, that's whatever. Then you're in the second seed, you save yourself for playoffs, whatever you want to say at that point. But the fact that you are literally like, I mean, let's look at this. You are 2 games up from Washington, who's sitting on the outside looking in right now. Like, it's not good at all. Like, you are so close to dropping out.
Yeah.
You need to play, otherwise it's just too late. Because right now, I'm sorry, but everyone ahead of you, besides Toronto, because that's the closest person you can catch, you're not catching unless they continue to lose. And Cleveland's going to lose a few, but they're still high enough up. Boston's too good right now. The
Dude.
Bulls would have to collapse even more, as we talked about. You're not catching Milwaukee. You're not catching the 76ers. You're not catching the Heat.
Yeah.
So you have to win, and you're just not even playing. So
then you know where my ceiling is with this team. Before we get to Boston, we round them up. What do you think the ceiling is for the Nets? Because they're not in your final two coming out of the
No.
going to the conference. You have the Bucks and Bulls, I believe. No, you have the Bucks and the Bulls. So where do you
Bucks
think
and
the
Bulls, yeah.
ceiling is for this team?
I don't see them making out of the play-in, honestly.
Mhm.
I just don't see, like, until they show me something, I just
Okay.
don't see it. You're gonna have to play 2 games most likely right now with where you're at in the playing round. Neither of them gonna be at your home court, which is good for you. But right now, the second game would be in Toronto. So you have to win 1 game with Kyrie Irving, which is possible. And then you have to go to Toronto and win without Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
And at this point, all I know is that means KD's gonna be playing. I have no clue who else will be that, like, I just don't see them. I honestly think both them and the Lakers, once we get to the true playoffs, we're gonna have both of them sitting at home with us.
I agree with you about the Lakers.
I know
but,
you do. You can't agree with me with the Nets. You have them in your final 4. You have to back
right.
that play.
I still think they're fine. Like you said, I maybe I'm being a little optimistic in the sense where,
think you
like,
are
I think
'cause
they
you don't wanna
will
lose
show
your
me
money.
something. Well, that too. But I feel like I'm feeling really confident about my West picks where, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my West picks where I'm not too
Oh, I'm
concerned.
super confident in my West picks. I'm not even worried.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have some time for that, but let's talk about
Yeah.
the elephant in the room. Boston. What in the world is going on in Boston, bro?
I will let you take the lead on this because I want to hear your take first before I say mine.
Okay. I feel like it's just important to say the last 5 games. Nets, they played the Nets, Grizzlies, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons. And then 6 games, the Nets again. They dropped 50. Boston's one and only Jason Tatum dropped 50 on KD's head, like right there. I get it. He's still getting his feet under him. I just said that, but this team, I believe they have been having the hottest streak, honestly, since pulling that up. I think they had the hottest month of February, I believe. I want to say that. Yeah, I think it was the hottest February streak.
I was gonna say them or the Bulls probably in February.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9 and 11 in the month of February. They started off their March 3-3. So the team, some of the teams, notable teams they beat. Miami, which is number 1 right now. Brooklyn twice. Denver they beat. Atlanta they beat. They beat the Sixers. But I think that was before Harden got there. They beat Atlanta again. They beat Memphis, and then they beat Brooklyn.
They beat Brooklyn twice.
They 3 times, I think, actually. Now that I'm looking
at
at
my
it.
list, but it might be a third. Yeah.
February 8th was the third time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have quite that.
But I think that was with Harden. Even then, there is something going on with this team where I don't know where it's coming from. I haven't watched much of Boston because it kind of just creeped up on me until this morning. But I really think that this team is built differently this year than they were the past few years. In the sense where we always thought Boston had the big 2 with Jason Tatum when Kyrie was there. We thought we had the big 3, but we know how that went. He got booed out of the stadium, whatever. And I loved his analogy of, like, They're the
The
ex-girlfriend
X,
that
yeah.
broke up with me, but waiting for a text back, but they know I'm never. So like, I love this little like hatred that they got Kyrie with the city, whatever. But this team looks, the coach, and I don't remember his name. I think he's a new coach replacing Brad Stevens. This
Yeah.
guy, I think it was, there were some growing pains at the beginning of the season. I think he finally got the pulse of his team. I think Jason Tatum gets his role. I think Jaylen Brown, he's still figuring it out.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
he's still figuring things out, but I think like him figuring it out right now is still producing some great wins. Like he's getting closer and closer to being where he needs to be. I think Grant
For sure.
Williams, Robert Williams, great role players. Marcus Smart still being there, that defensive presence, like Patrick Beverly, but I hate Patrick Beverly and I love Marcus Smart. That's just my opinion, right?
Okay, yeah.
This team, now I don't wanna change my pick too much, but if I see them in the, and I feel like you could say this about any team in the East, but I really think this team, there's like 4 teams I really think I wouldn't be surprised with seeing in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
Philly,
that's fair.
Brooklyn, the Bucks. I don't know. I think it's Miami and Boston at this point. Honestly, that if I see either one of them, maybe it's 5, but I think I'll give the edge to Boston. And Miami, I get it. We're going to talk about this Victor Oladipo. Maybe we could even combine these two, but
Yeah, we can.
I don't know what Victor Oladipo is. I don't know what he's even going to look like on Miami. That's going to put them,
It's been a long time since he's been on the court.
and he's going to have to readjust. I mean, they've been doing this role with Kyle Lowry, Bam, Jimmy,
Yeah.
Tyler Hero. They were still figuring things out at the beginning of the season. Now they kind of figured it out. When Victor Oladipo comes back, who was a big name guy.
I mean,
I
because
see them
his
drafting.
last
I
game
trust
was
Boston.
April 21st was his last game. So almost a year.
Yeah. And I trust Boston right now. I think they have all of their guys. They're still figuring things out, but their chemistry is there. You're not going to add a role player that is expecting to be one of the guys, but isn't. I don't know. I trust Boston right now. And I think those, if I see them in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I think is their ceiling, I wouldn't give them the edge to make it to the finals.
Yeah. Okay.
But they haven't been making it to the Eastern Conference Finals in what was it? I forget, 4 or 5 years now.
It's been a
So,
minute, yeah.
I think I feel confident saying if I see them there, I'm like it makes sense. So that's my take on Boston right now.
Honestly, for not in a bad way, but for once we have the exact same take pretty much.
Okay.
And I think it's fair because, like you said, their pieces are they're all coming together, and even the ones that aren't quite there, they're enough that they know what their role is still, even though they're
Right.
not 100% with it. My only concern is that they've been streaky. I need to see them win a few more in a row and make that push right now. Because I mean they're still looking good, but it's just been a little bit back and forth. Because like you win 3, I mean it's the same given every team streak to an extent. But I need to see them win a couple more, not even by blowouts, just a couple more against good teams. Because like my problem right now is if you look at the losses that they have, let's look real fast. If I go to
Indiana,
Boston,
Detroit.
that's my thing. Yeah, like given it's like given Detroit apparently can beat good teams or bad teams, but like you lose to the Pacers, you lose to the Pistons, and then you had a nice little run where you were in it. Then you lost to the Hawks, and you lost to the Trailblazers. Like you're losing to teams you shouldn't be losing to. That's my other thing. And given that some of them are close games, but so I mean, I think they're not as streaky as I thought they were. Like there was a nice little win streak they had going on, but I think I need to see like if they lose to the Hornets are good, but Boston, you're better. You should win that game.
Yeah, I think
I do agree with you though. I think them being in the Final Four is definitely possible. Especially if they just play a little, not much more consistent, just a little bit. Like I just overall though, I would not like right now. I would not want to face Boston if I was playing. I'm more scared of Boston than probably anyone but Milwaukee because I just don't like to face Giannis in the playoffs.
Right.
It's just a scary thought. And then like you said, Miami, they're still up there at number 1 right now. They're getting Victor Oladipo back. What's he going to be? I don't know because it's been a year. But at the same time, if he's 75% healthy and good to go for the playoffs, that's another 20 points a night, easy probably.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's hard to say, and it's not like they need it, like because they are already they're first in the East right now with a 3-game lead, so they don't even have to like bring him back like crazy fast. They can bring him back slowly, work him into the playoffs while still having this cushion as the 1 seed.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Miami's next 5 games. They got Phoenix, Cleveland, so like 2 tough games.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I mean, respectable game for sure. Pistons, Oklahoma City, and then they face the Sixers, Golden State, New York, the Knicks,
It's rough.
and then the Nets. So I think these two, and then if I'm looking at Boston's next 5 right away: Charlotte, Pistons, Dallas, Golden State, Sacramento, Denver. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like after this week and a half period, we're gonna know where
It's gonna be a lot easier to tell. Yeah, a lot easier to tell who's actually gonna, even just spot wise, what place they're going to get in seed wise and everything.
And they're going to be humbled. I feel like there's going to be some humbling going on. I think the Sixers end up winning getting that 1st seed because of Miami's schedule. But there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some humbling. And I think maybe we need to, like in a week and a half, reevaluate both teams.
Okay. Yeah.
And see
I'm
where that goes. Because, dude, I mean, we've been talking for 40 minutes and that's all only freaking basketball.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, because I definitely think we wait to see another week or 2, because I mean, next week it's gonna be a lot of March Madness. I know, with it being selection Sunday would happen. Yeah, would it be the day before, and our brackets will be ready then, which I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little exciting to see how wrong we are, because there's no way it's just happens.
I have confidence in myself. I'm gonna be surprised how wrong you are.
Oh, okay.
I'm winning.
I'll remember
money,
that when
baby.
I'm taking more more money from you. When I'm taking more money from you. Don't you worry, I'll let you know. But no, I do want to talk a little about football though for this week before we leave, because
we might have to do another 40 minutes with the amount of stuff that happened, bro.
I mean, we can always carry it. I don't know if we need to talk about too much.
We'll go quick. Yeah. It's off season, but it's just so much to happen.
Yeah, let's not start with my team yet. Let's not go there.
That's like a last minute.
Let's start with probably one of the more likely news things for us to hear.
Okay.
The talks of Russell Wilson, trade talks.
So we're talking about my team. We're talking about my
yours.
team, buddy.
And the fact that the commanders are trying for him.
Son of a gun. Dude, let me tell you, when I heard this, I was like, Washington, what are you doing? You guys can't get Russell Wilson. Like, we're not there yet. And then I was thinking about it, man. We have it. We have a team where all we need is a quarterback. I mean, look at our defense. Chase Young. We got young talent. We got a lot of homegrown players on that defense. I mean, with Taylor Heineke almost beat the Bucks with Tom Brady.
It's true.
You know what I mean? That defense is set. That defense is ready. Chase Young, once he comes back healthy after I forget what is it. Was it his ACL or was it like something in his pec? I forget.
I want to say ACL, yeah.
Once he gets back, I'm not worried about that defense. Now looking at our offense, Scary Terry is scary. Scary Terry is scary. That's all everyone's saying, that this guy is not the person they want to defend. All their corners are saying that. There's so much respect for this guy. He's just silent. He's a killer, right? You look at our defense, our running backs. Antonio Gibson, man, he's a workhorse. He could get you, you could get that play action pass because he's going to get you those yards in the run game.
Yeah.
Our offensive line, slightly concerning. I feel like that's kind of the weakness.
Most outside of the quarterback.
Outside of the quarterback. But I mean, like, we're still pretty good shape where we could get a good running game in. Logan Thomas, I know he was hurt, but him coming back, I think he's pretty good. And we have a few other like speedsters that know their role. I don't want them to be all-stars. That's what Scary Terry is for. We have players that know the role.
Yeah. Okay.
Taylor Heineke, love you to death. Fun to watch. Gave me hope. But if we could land Russell Wilson, and I know we shot them to trade and Seattle kind of shut it down. And Russell Wilson ended up coming out and saying that he doesn't want to go to the East Coast and he's not afraid of going to the AFC, which that's a side story. But I think the bigger story right now, honestly, is Washington landing a big name quarterback. And I
Yeah.
forget who I was talking to. I went this Sunday, I was talking to one of my buddies, and they're 100% believing that we are going to land Deshaun Watson. Somehow, some way, we're going to land Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I don't know how that would work.
I'll make
but-
my bit short. I would love for y'all to land a big name quarterback. I just don't know if y'all have enough to give up for what teams want for their quarterbacks right now. You're gonna have to give up a crazy amount for Russell Wilson, probably including one or two of the players that you mentioned. And Deshaun Watson, you might not have to give up players. You're gonna have to give up picks. Also, is he gonna be able to play though? You might be just getting him in. So it's a risk. I think though you are correct though. You could get a big name quarterback and you can make a move and see what happens. But you'd have to pull a Rams and just be like, fuck the picks.
And so this is my question to you before we move on.
All
Do
right.
you think this is a win now situation like in the Bucks case, or do you think this team is still a few years out?
I honestly think you're like probably 2 years out. I think that
Okay.
you could probably. I think maybe if you don't make a move for a quarterback this year, you're planning for next year's draft to get you a big name quarterback, and you're
Yeah.
building pieces, setting it up for that. But I would say 2 or 3 years is when y'all are really going to be pedal to the metal. I think you need at least the 2 though.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Lions are a win now team. So just let me have that moment to say that.
Sorry, what? What did you just say?
Did Jimmy write that down in my notes? I don't know. What happened.
I don't even want to look at you right now. Like what?
Hey, don't make me bring up the Falcons right now. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to and saving that for the end. Before we get into them,
Yeah, I
let's
know.
stay in the East. Let's stay in the East.
Okay, let's say
NFC
these.
East.
Let's do it.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
What do you think? What do you think? Amari Cooper likely to be released before, I think, is it March 20th deadline for
Yeah,
or start?
I think
Okay.
I think it's a fair. Everyone saw it coming. His role's been diminished a bit. They don't want to pay him what they don't have to pay him just because of his production can't happen. So I think it's fair. They're making moves. I saw they want to restructure Dak Prescott's contract also for make more cap space, which
Yeah.
is fair. Most teams, including mine, would love to do that with their quarterback because some people have a $48 million cap hit. It hurts
I'm
to watch.
trying not to bring that up yet.
I know. I'm doing this so you can't. But no, and then who's on the defensive side that they wanted to
DeMarcus Lawrence.
they wanted to basically give him a pay cut as well. Which he said no. Which I would as well. If I was him. But I don't know. I think it's just really them doing their due diligence, trying to make space for their draft picks and signing maybe. I just don't know. I don't know who they're going to go after in free agency for signing. That's my thing. Because unless you're going after a ref that can call a fourth timeout when Dak Prescott runs too long in the playoff game. That's really all he can do.
You said it so clean, and I every second to be like, "What are you talking about, a ref?" Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah, that's what, they don't really. They aren't like. They aren't. I mean, they could use some more pieces, but it's not like they're in dire need of one thing, in my opinion. But I also don't watch Dallas that much
Yeah,
because they're not an Americans team. They're a lie.
that's facts.
But
That's facts.
so do you think it's a big deal with them trying to restructure, have these big name players take pay cuts, and the release of Amari Cooper, or do you think it's just?
I think this is concerning. Honestly, I really
Okay.
think this is concerning. I think the bigger story is Amari Cooper.
Okay.
I think CeeDee Lamb did not play the best season he's ever had. He's only been in the season for 2 years. Cedric Wilson came out of the cut, did very well for them, but he's not a number one.
Yeah.
Michael Gallup, not a number one. CeeDee Lamb, is he a number one yet? You also have concerns with the running game. I get it. Amari Cooper didn't have the best season, but he at least, we know he was at least a number one before. Like,
So
he's proven that.
yeah, here do you think this could be? They get rid of Amari Cooper, they restructure these deals so that they could go after, say, Green Bay wide receiver, possibly.
So, I was thinking that. And I mean, today the Packers just sent a fat offer to Aaron Rodgers. And I think the deadline's tomorrow, right, for the franchise tag, which is what they would end up doing to Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Which is why that's a big deal. So we might know. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is leaving. So I think Devontae Adams is staying. So I don't know who they're going to sign.
If Aaron Rodgers leaves, I don't see him going to Dallas. That's me. But I feel like this, if you're getting rid of Cooper and you're trying to get a lot more money, you're trying to get a big name receiver.
Right.
And that's the receiver you go for.
But just like who? Like if Aaron Rodgers stays, Devontae's not leaving, right? Like that's fair to say.
Yeah.
So then who's left? Like you're not
That's
going to
what I'm
get
saying,
D-Hop. You're not going to get maybe Michael Thomas. Maybe he's been happy in New Orleans, but I mean, like outside of that, I don't see who they could get. So in my head, like I think that's.
I think this is more of a waiting game. Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of just a waiting game because they haven't really shown their hand, was like of who they want. It's just all right, and I think Amari Cooper, he could pretty much go anywhere that a team, if the money's right, he'll go because he still could easily have potential at teams. But I think besides my team's problems, I think the biggest news though that I told you like right before we hopped on the call was that the Panthers are taking calls about trades for Christian McCaffrey.
Insane.
Which how should I put this? He's an amazing running back, but I would not trade for him because he's not going to play more than 4 games. He has not been healthy all year for the past 4 or 5 seasons, it feels like.
Oh, crap.
The man is so unhealthy. The man does not stay healthy.
I was not saying you go that direction. Let me tell you that.
I know. That's why I saved that bit. I wanted to see the reaction. I saved that bit from you. From what I know that a team would have to give up for him, it's just too risky in my opinion. Like at that point, you might as well talk to the Giants for Barkley at that point. He's coming off an injury as well, but when he was healthy, he stayed on the field longer. You have to give up less for him as well, in my opinion. And it just showed even Derrick Henry, all running backs have a shelf life, and even the big guys go down. And Christian McCaffrey is not a big guy. He is pure muscle. He's a smaller running back compared to like the big running backs size-wise. I love him as a running back, but I just don't see him being healthy. It's a problem. And no, I have not drafted my fantasy team in the past 3 years for that reason.
I don't have the words. I did not think that's what you're gonna go. I forget, Brandon, maybe you can help me out. Who's the quarterback for the Panthers?
There's not really anyone currently.
Okay, who's the wide receiver?
There's not one either.
Is there like their defense is like okay, respectable. Who's the offensive line?
5 guys who play the football.
Could me and you play for their offensive line?
Let's not quite go that far, but yeah, close.
But they'll probably have the same effect on the team as the 5 guys that start, right?
Fair.
I think the last time they had I don't know, who was their tight end? If I had to be honest, I thought it was Greg Olsen for the longest time, and then I realized he retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have no weapons, bro. So maybe he might be a little fragile. He has a city on his back. When you go to the Panthers to watch them play, are you going to watch?
Oh yeah.
The Panthers? Are you? Going
I know.
to
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. I
Yeah.
think this is smart for the Panthers to trade him because you
Oh,
know
it's
you're
very
gonna get
smart for the
most
Panthers. Yes.
for him. And you're thinking as outside teams, it's not worth it because you don't know if he could stay healthy.
Yeah, no. For the Panthers, it's well worth it. 100%. I'm saying because right now, if you pull up on ESPN, if you go to the Panthers page, it says which team is better fit for McCaffrey, Chiefs or Bills.
Those are the two teams I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
One, I just how much do you have to give up though? Is the thing.
But this is my thing. In response to that, Bucks win the Super Bowl last year. Well, 2 years ago now. But
Yeah.
what is it called? They win. They went all in.
Rams, same thing.
The Rams, same exact thing. Do I see a situation where the Chiefs or the Bills go all in?
100%.
1,000%. So
I think
do I see them a better fit for them between the Bills and then the Chiefs? Honestly, I think the Chiefs. I really think it's the Chiefs in that case because I think the Bills are going to go make a push for Saquon Barkley. That's what I'm just feeling.
so. So that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say whichever team doesn't make a push for McCaffrey will go for Barkley.
Yeah.
And I honestly think the reverse though. I think the Bills might be a better pick for McCaffrey because one,
Okay.
they're also trying to get Gronkowski to come play for them, which gives you a good tight end. You already have let's be real. The Bills have a little bit. Josh Allen's a little bit better of a rushing quarterback out of the pocket. Like just if you're
And
going
Patrick
straight
Mahomes,
rushing,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think in that sense, the dual threatness you have with McCaffrey and Josh Allen at that point of okay, either guy could take off at a moment's notice. I think it's going to make it. It's going to save Josh Allen from getting hit probably 20 times a game because he gets beat up a ton.
That's an interesting
then-
perspective. I appreciate that.
Because I think that's the thing. The Chiefs have enough running backs as well. They don't they have their running backs, so if they don't get a running back, it's okay. I can't think of the Bills running back is off the top of my head. I feel like it's a tier 2 guy. Like I feel like it's not
Yeah,
a top guy.
yeah.
So like
You're right.
if I were to pick, I would go for Saquon Barkley. Personal opinion, just because I feel like he's going to be on the field longer. But production wise, McCaffrey has shown he's produced more.
See, I
So it's-
disagree with that. I think you have it flipped. I think Saquon will actually be hurt more.
He's had the one big injury, and that was it.
Yeah, but I mean, how much did he play last season? The
Almost
season
as
after
much-
his injury.
Almost as much as Christian McCaffrey.
Right. So, I mean, that's 2 against the 1. I think the
Yeah.
reason why I appreciated your Bills pick about McCaffrey, like that sudden notice, that dual threat, I thought
Yeah.
that Christian McCaffrey would play better with the Chiefs because, I mean, what are they lacking? That dink and dunk, right?
That's
Because
fair.
they're that big team. They need a running back that could. It's not a Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Darren Williams. Like they're not. They proved they're not that guy. Clyde kept on getting hurt last season. Whatever. Christian McCaffrey provides that running game, but also Patrick Mahomes can't find someone. You know, Christian McCaffrey's right there.
Yeah, no,
It still gets
100%.
you that big game.
Yeah.
I don't think Saquon does that for them. But I mean,
agree.
like, also to your point, it's like, is that matchup better or Josh Allen versus with Christian McCaffrey? To me,
Yeah.
I think it's the Chiefs in terms of the scheme that they're going to try and put in with Patrick Mahomes. I think that's the better fit. But would I love to see Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey in the back?
Amazing.
Oh my God! Holy crap!
I think we're gonna have to wait as well to see with this though, because if it doesn't happen before the draft, I don't see the trade happening. Because if the
Yeah.
team's not if they're not getting draft picks, they're not doing it. Because one, you're already having Carolina probably picking a quarterback at number 6, I think. I want to say 6.
I'll check as you talk.
Yeah. So I think they're picking so like you have enough draft stock right now to pick a quarterback. So like you don't necessarily need to trade McCaffrey because you're picking quarterback. And if you trade McCaffrey, you got to get yourself a running back as well then. But if you can get a couple first and a second maybe, then yeah, I can see it happening. So I was just very intrigued by that because like I said, I love him as a running back. He just is never on the field in my opinion.
Okay,
Um,
which is fair.
which I don't want to do it, but will lead me to the wonderful conversation of someone who's not going to see the field anytime soon. My number one receiver who had mental health issues, and then all of a sudden we found out today that he was gambling as well. And not only did he gambled for the Falcons to win. Who gambles for the Falcons to win? I am dying. I saw some today. Someone was like, "You gambled $1,500 and lost down 10 million," and I was like, "Yep, that's your salary for this year, bud." So I personally, I think the penalty is a bit harsh. The fact that you've had people do way worse things and get suspended for a couple games, but at the same time, you want to, you're making a stance. I just don't know if we're going to see Calvin Ridley on the field again, to be honest. And which hurts me because he had great potential, but we went from, okay, let's trade him away now to basically Deshaun Watson. He's just going to sit there for a season and I can't do anything about it.
Wait, you don't think he's going to be playing for the Falcons again, or don't think he's going to play football
Falcons for sure. There's a chance his football career is done.
again? Okay.
Not only because like one, you have a year ban, but also like the past season you went dark and no one knows, like, yes, it was mental health, but no one knows to the extent. And it like that was week like 5 or something, and then you were just gone the whole season. Like, I
Yeah.
just can you trust the guy?
Mm,
Which sucks because I liked him so much. I was so happy when we drafted him. Like, and he worked wonders. And once Julio was gone, I was like, this is our man. We got a number one receiver. We got Kyle Pitts. We're gonna do great. And then just I was like, okay, that sucks. I hope he's okay. And now like this news came out and stuff. I'm just like, why? Like,
yeah.
you make plenty of money. It's not like you don't. You were drafted in the first round. I don't know. What is you think he's done? You think he's gonna come back? You think
I think he's going to
they're
come
gonna
back
appeal
this
it?
season. I think he's going to come
You
back
think they're
this
gonna
season.
appeal it or no?
I think they're going to appeal it, and I don't
Okay.
think it's going to stick. I mean, again, I don't necessarily understand the year suspension from the aspect of he wasn't playing. Like if he was playing, if there is any overlap with him playing in these bets, sure.
Yeah, especially on his team, that would
Yeah.
that would make sense. But the
Which
fact that he was already
away, and then this comes out. To me, what's the difference between Calvin Ridley and me and you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're both had the same effect on the game. Also, I mean, if he's dumb enough to put a bet on the Falcons to win, then like obviously like he knows that he's going to lose money. Like it's not like he was doing some sort of insider trading, right? So I think he's going to appeal it. I don't. Again, if this is all with it being said that nothing sticks in that aspect of the overlap. Do I see maybe a 5-game suspension, 6-game suspension? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think he comes back at some point. I think his mental health issues, unlike Ben Simmons, was real. I mean,
Yeah.
because he was in his prime. Ben Simmons
Yeah.
had like a bad performance and then mental health. I think he was playing at his peak performance, but he still then retired, which I gave a lot of respect for. And because of that, I feel like he's always been honest in that sense, where I think looking at his tweets, like, I mean, he was exposing a lot about himself, his feelings, whatever. He was emotional.
Yeah.
I get it. The role can announced, but because like you're at your prime, you're now the next guy, Julio Jones. This is your team, whatever, and you would still take time for mental health. I just feel like he's more trustworthy, which is why I feel like he's gonna appeal it, and like there's nothing actually wrong doing. But like again,
Yeah, that's
we
fair.
don't know.
If he appeals it and it gets overturned to not the full season, I think he comes back because at that point it's too late to trade him. So he'll play for the Falcons. That's when if he appeals it and doesn't play for the Falcons, I think he's done then for sure. Because at that point it's just like you just don't want to play. You made it clear you don't want to play.
Yeah.
But either way, that's the biggest news in my opinion of the day because I was like, hopped on Instagram and Twitter. I was like, holy crap, breaking news. Yeah, that's breaking news.
Yeah.
But I just
It's gonna be tough.
it
At
is.
least you're not a Lions fan.
That's true. I'm not. But here's the good news. there's plenty of Georgia players in the draft for any team to pick. And I don't know if you've seen any of the draft, but I just want to throw this out. Them Georgia boys are built different when it comes to speed, boy.
Are we talking about Davis?
Oh my goodness.
Good God.
He could, when I said this man could chase me down, I was like, oh,
I do
this
not
man
want to be in front of
outrun.
that bus.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in front of that
Oh
bus.
my God.
What was his time?
Like-
4.83, something like that on the 40.
No, his official time was like 4.78 or something. It was sub 4.8, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah. He's according to 40 times, he's faster than Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston, 9 different wide receivers from this year's draft, 9 different running backs. No man that big should be able to run that fast. And I knew he was fast. I didn't know he was that fast.
Yeah. Holy dude.
Yeah. But I just was like, oh my, please draft him. I don't know how, but please draft him.
I mean, the Lions have so many. I don't want him to go to the Lions because we're just gonna ruin him. But
Yeah.
he's definitely first round pick. And I will be curious where he goes.
He's a later into the first round pick, so it's the Lions couldn't have taken him, but we can get on the draft another day once it gets closer to the draft.
Especially after the combine, and we could get our research
The
done.
combine's over now. Yeah. Oh, we can do research now, but we gotta get some March Madness done first.
March Madness in for sure. We got to also get
Some Champions
We
League.
don't have to talk about this, but Champions League, Mbappe just went down against
Yeah.
Madrid, their upcoming
Yeah,
match.
I think
this
that's
Wednesday.
a good tease for next week
Yeah,
for any soccer
absolutely.
fans that are still sticking around with us. I know this is a bit of a longer one today, but it just was.
there's so much.
It was jam packed. There was so much today that came out too. Like
Yeah,
the football stuff was not going to come up, but and then just like last minute, I was like, boom,
I think
boom,
we had two
boom.
things,
So
like
Yeah.
the Commanders and I think that was it really. And then
yeah,
like,
it was really Commanders and then
T-Law,
just everything.
Amari
just
Cooper,
yeah,
Christian
yeah.
McCaffrey,
Like Amari
Calvin
Cooper had been
Ridley.
talked about, but like they had all those things. Yeah. So
Yeah,
no, I'm excited. We'll run it back again 1 week from now.
1 week from now,
Have-
baby.
Crazy more news, I'm sure. So we'll definitely do some Champions League. We'll show off our brackets, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I
I think
it's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be the
lit.
show. I mean, the day after selection Sunday.
That's I was gonna say it's pretty much gonna be the show. We might need to make an Instagram to post the brackets. We'll figure that out throughout the
We're gonna
week.
figure it out.
We'll figure something out. We'll figure it out. Either way, what a packed week it was.
And I
God.
think it's only fair before we go, Coach K, we love you.
Oh,
freaking love you.
legendary.
Legendary. And I think that's how we're gonna end the show. Just
Yeah.
with Coach K. So we'll see you
Yeah.
next week, guys. Peace.
Till then, peace.